Did you know a pig was once put on trial in a real human courtroom, complete with a judge, jury, and even a lawyer? Not for corruption, that's modern, but for murder. And unbelievably, the court treated it like a legitimate criminal case. Welcome to a chapter of history when Europe looked at animals and declared, "You, courtroom, now." From the 9th to the 18th century, European law worked on a simple rule. If a creature can move, it can commit a crime. Pigs, cows, horses, goats, even rats and insects. Everything could be charged. And these weren't silly village stunts. They were official trials with written records, summoned witnesses, sworn statements, defense attorneys, and even the possibility of an appeal. Meanwhile, a noble who harmed someone could walk free. But a goose that misbehaved? Straight to trial. One piece shook Europe. Falaise, France, 1386. A pig was accused of killing a child. Instead of treating it as an accident, the town organized a full legal spectacle. They dressed the pig in human clothes, jacket, trousers, the whole outfit. Witnesses testified, a lawyer defended it, and the judge tried somehow to stay serious.
What is this tiny thing? Pink, loud, smells like milk. Food? A bald puppy? Let me check. Oops. Oh no, I was just curious.
The verdict? Guilty. The sentence? Execution in public. Crowds gathered as if watching a festival. Some sources even mention other pigs from the same farm being punished as accomplices. Imagine minding your own pig business and suddenly being guilty by association. Horses were also frequent defendants. In Burgundy, a horse was accused of attacking its master. Witnesses dramatically described it raising its hooves with malicious intent, as if the animal had planned a premeditated assault. Courts could imprison a horse, whip it, execute it, or even pardon it if they believed the animal was provoked. They psychoanalyzed horses more carefully than they judged some humans. Goats, too, developed reputations as neighborhood criminals. In one 1600s case, a goat was charged with aggression and public disorder for headbutting someone. The court spent days debating whether the goat was naturally hostile or simply mishandled. In the end, the owner was fined, but the goat was still blamed and officially labeled a repeat offender. Yes, they kept a criminal record for a goat. But the strangest case of all, the rat trial of 1508. Rats were accused of eating crops in Autun. The defense lawyer, Bartholomew Chassamé, took the case so seriously he became famous for it. His first argument, you can't expect all the rats to appear. They live far away. The judge agreed and issued another summons. When the rats didn't show up, shock, Chassamé argued they feared traveling because of the cats along the roads. The court genuinely debated this. Multiple hearings, multiple delays, the trial collapsed not because it was absurd, but because the court couldn't find a legal way to force rats to attend. Even insects were treated as criminal offenders. Locusts and weevils received formal written orders demanding they leave farmland. When they didn't, obviously, courts issued symbolic punishments, calling them corruptors of the earth. Bureaucracy versus bugs, a fight nobody won. Some regions went further and wrote animal crime rules into local law. A rooster laying an egg, charged with sorcery. A dog stealing bread. Witnesses were sworn in to describe the theft. Insects in several towns could technically appeal punishments through human lawyers. Medieval attorneys didn't just defend people, they defended beetles. The trials became community theater. Full processions, ceremonial readings, public punishment, and ritual confessions. Animals just stared sometimes, which officials interpreted as refusing to cooperate. But here's the real twist. People weren't foolish, they were afraid. In a world without science, without forensics, without any real understanding of disease or animal behavior, chaos was terrifying. When a child died, they needed someone to blame. When crops failed, they needed a culprit. Try putting a plague or a famine on trial. It's impossible. But a pig, a goat, a swarm of rats, those could be dragged into a courtroom. Punishing animals was their way of giving shape to fear, turning chaos into something they could control. Some cases even show surprising compassion. Bees were once acquitted because they were acting in accordance with nature. Frogs were formally banished for being too loud at night. And a donkey accused in an indecent case was pardoned because the court ruled it a victim, not a participant, a level of empathy many humans didn't receive. By the 1700s, science finally caught up. Microscopes, anatomy, and early biology revealed what the medieval world couldn't see. Pests destroy crops because of nature, not malice. Animals lash out because of instinct, not criminal intent. Slowly, animal trials faded away, not with controversy, just with the quiet arrival of reason. For centuries, humans put animals on trial because fear demanded answers. Pigs, rats, goats, horses, anyone could be guilty. Absurd, dark, sometimes unintentionally funny. But to them, it was order in a world that felt uncontrollable. And today the records remain bizarre, real, and a reminder that justice has not always been logical, but it has always tried to make sense of the world, even when humans didn't quite understand it.
See you.